Pushed it. We live. We are live. We are live. We are live. What's good with y'all? This is the chop up. Y'all come on in. Y'all know how we go. As y'all come in, make sure y'all say what's up. Let us know where y'all coming in from. Let me make sure.
Hey, and today, you feel me, it's a little bit different because Toya is here with us. You know what I'm saying? But right now is the annual national debate tournament, and her team just happened to be competing in the quarterfinals of the national debate tournament. I think it's like the 73rd annual or 74th annual or something like that. You feel me?
Now look, for those who don't know, the national debate tournament is similar to the NCAA. It's March Madness. It's similar to the NCAA tournament. You have to qualify or be invited. You know what I'm saying? So everybody can't just pull up to the NDT. Toya's team right now is waiting on a decision in the quarterfinals of the NDT against the top seed, one of the best teams in the country, in a very hard fought debate. So we actually waiting to hear the decision from Toya's team. That's Cal State University, Fullerton, the Titans. Shout out to the Titans. Going up against the University of Kansas Jayhawks. All right, this is because like what quarters is that's the Elite Eight. If you're thinking about it, about it in terms of,
and they're fighting to go to the Final Four.
Oh, so we actually just got the decision back. So Toya's team, in the Elite Eight just lost.
On a split decision.
On a 4-3 decision. So Cal State, Fullerton has been eliminated from the NDT. Toya's team, now, mind you, making it to the Elite Eight, you know what I mean, in any capacity is a huge accomplishment. So we want to definitely congratulate Toya and her team. She's listening to the decision right now. Yeah. So once they get a full understanding of the decision, Toya will join us to continue the show. But we are going to get the show. Now, again, congratulations to Cal State Fullerton for making it to the quarters of the quarterfinals of the NDT. That's no joke. You know what I'm saying? That's no joke. That Elite Eight, and to get a split decision against the top seed, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's big. Yeah. That's big. So
into just for everybody that's tuning in tonight, you feel me? Tonight we getting into the Derrick, Jaxn, Kevin Samuel. I'm saying it's Kevin Samuel, huh? Kevin Samuel. You feel me? We're gonna get into the Derrick Jaxn stuff in the Snapchat. We also gonna get into the Lil Nas X, Blood Shoes, Stripper Pole Dance Devil. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna call it the culture chop. You feel me? Then we're gonna have a political chop where we get into all of the voter suppression bills and all of the anti-protest shit that's been passed throughout our country. You know,
especially the nonsense coming out of Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia, Florida, Oklahoma, Arkansas. I seen they have been drafting some bills. It's also similar. There's been a lot of different states that's been pushing a lot of things. You tuned into the chop up. You feel me? Don't tell a friend to like, subscribe, share. It's the chop up tonight. That's what we're getting into. You feel me? And if you don't know, we are available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So if you're riding in the car and you a podcast listener and you feel like right now we going late, you feel me? You want to tap in with us later on. And you know what I'm saying? You want to see how the conversation going. You feel like it was juicy, but you tired. Tap in with us later on.
For sure. So let's go ahead. For everybody that's joining us, we got Tori in the building, Jamar in the building, Ethereal Beauty. Thank you for joining us. Jennifer is in the building, Noel, and Nico.
To Jamar. The chop up, we're gonna do a special. We're gonna end up doing a special about the George Floyd case where we get into the specifics. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So we don't want to shotgun and I feel like do like everybody else and kind of sensationalize different things. I feel like give you a nice digested, you feel me, coverage about the, you know what I'm saying? And you really shouldn't call it the George Floyd case because George Floyd ain't on trial. The Derrick Chauvin case, you feel me? Is he the one that's on trial? You know what I'm saying? But shout out to you. Definitely great question, Jamar.
Right. But yeah, we gonna touch on that. It is something that requires a lot of thought, and it requires to kind of see how it happens. Like, you know, on social media, people are quick to kind of just jump to the conversation. Let's just talk about it. Like, nah, let's.
Hey, I'm on TikTok live. My wife is on TikTok live right now. Shout out to my wife. You feel me? She on live too.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah, we
yeah.
got to get into it.
So let's go ahead. We waiting for Toya. Toya join us once she get done. Doing her thing with her team. So it'll probably be a little bit later in the show. So don't be surprised when she just pop up. But just to go ahead and keep things rolling, let's go ahead and get into it. Now, y'all know we gotta start the show the way that we always start the show. That's with the
Let me
intro.
show y'all. Hold on. Let me show.
Oh, yeah.
We ready?
Let's get it.
Me, my guys, we really live. Lord, forgive me, pay my tithes. Please don't have me reach inside. And that's in the console. Keep the semi when I ride. Lit off Henny when I drive. In the city, we gon' slide. Bet I be there pronto.
What's up with you, Khadijah, and the rest of y'all? What's good? This is the Chop Up. I am Damo, political plug, your plug on politics. And I'm here with...
Hey, George Lee, aka Consciously. Don't forget the Lee. You can find me on GeorgeLeeSpeaks.com. Hey, education is elevation. Hey, get ready tonight. It's about to be a real, I think, purposefully provocative conversation we're gonna have about all these different topics we're getting into, from the Lil Nas X controversy to the Derrick Jaxn, you know what I'm saying, fiasco, to all of the voting suppression bills and the anti-protesting bills that's being passed throughout the South. You know what I'm saying? It's a good show tonight. If everybody on TikTok live, y'all can jump in with us right now on YouTube, the Chop Up Show on YouTube, or the Conscious Lee on YouTube, to get in with us right now. You feel me?
Yeah, make sure y'all remember we always getting it cracking on the Chop Up Show on Facebook, the Chop Up Show on YouTube, and at the Conscious Lee on YouTube. All right, we always getting in on them 3 platforms. Make sure y'all subscribe to all 3 of them platforms, and to our own individual pages. But we're gonna get to that later at the end of the show. But let's go ahead and get it started, since we did start late, and let's talk about this Snapchat. Now we are a little late on this. We did not do the show last week, so we are playing a little bit of catch up on the conversation, which was required though, because right now we about to talk about social media relationship gurus. Social media relationship gurus. At this point now, if you've been on social media, on any form of black social media, you've heard about Derrick Jaxn. Now, I didn't know who dude was. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I was not.
I know who Derrick Jaxn
you know
was.
what I'm saying? Yeah, right. Like, I'm like, who is Derrick Jaxn, and why are people pissed at him? You feel me? Actually, my exact quote on Facebook was, "Who is Derrick Jaxn, and why do we give a fuck that he a piece of shit?" You know what I'm saying?
I feel like because I'm on social media, the way I'm on social media, I had already came across them. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, I had my thoughts about them, but I feel like I usually kept it to myself, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I think that when it came out about I guess him getting caught up, you feel me, in lying and cheating on his wife and all that or whatever, I just seen it as being like, man, y'all got these old respectability politics ass dudes playing on black women's vulnerabilities, making it like they just the experts, you know what I'm saying? Pretty much the professional experts about, you know what I'm saying, relationships and being high quality women and things like that. And it's just like, I don't get it.
Yeah, and it's weird. So starting with Derrick Jaxn. So I guess I even after I heard about him, like especially once I heard the type of videos he make, I did not go back and watch the videos. I did not do my journalistic work, you know what I'm saying, and go back and be like, let me indulge it. Nah, because I mean, we talking about social media gurus, right? We talking about somebody who's really just picked up a camera and started talking, or picked up their phone and just started talking into the camera in their car, like we all did. Y'all go check out my old political plug videos. I was doing the same shit, right? That was the same aesthetic. And but in terms of like, listening, it's like once I heard the description of why people didn't fuck with him, it was like, I'm cool, right? And apparently Derrick Jaxn is somebody who really not necessarily bashed black men, but what he would do is he would talk about women recognizing their worth, women abiding by certain things to make sure they respect themselves, and position, pretty much give advice to women that wasn't very, what's the word I'm looking for, George? when it came to how he talked about black men, right? It wasn't like he shitted on black men, but he played into a perception of black men that benefited him in terms of the advice that he was giving to women, right? And the phrase that I like to use to describe what Derrick Jaxn was doing, and correct me if I'm wrong, George, is dirty macking.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I feel like I ain't even gonna to me, I think I ain't even gonna center men around what I think Derrick Jaxn was doing. I think that being able to play off of, again, vulnerabilities and playing off of technologies and playing off of insecurities of different people, I think that, you know what I'm saying, it has its ways of putting you in positions where I think that you can just take advantage. You know what I'm saying? I think that when you creating that, you feel me, stand in reserve, as one would call it, you feel me, of different people that you kind of play with like that. I think that's what it comes down to. You know what I'm saying? But to me, my analysis more is centered around respectability politics and being able to appeal to different tropes in terms of credibility and legitimacy, and being able to give one authority to be able to speak to certain textures of black people. Because in my mind, Derrick Jaxn and, you feel me, Kevin Samuels, don't kind of two different sides of the spectrum. They still are being able to, I feel like, you know, monetize, being able to speak with a particular authority to a particular people off of a particular, you know what I'm saying? I think that, you know, that's just my analysis on that.
Okay, and Ethereal Beauty, I think, thank you for your assistance. She said that the proper word to describe was pandering, right? I wanted to say simping, but as the chop up, we actually retired that word. But I think if calling anything simping was appropriate, George, you would agree that this nigga was.
This probably one of instances where it'd be like, okay, I get how there's a concept of because basically, in for lack of better terms, one would say that simping is basically pandering for puss, pandering for woman sexual, and you know what I'm saying, what you call. I don't want to get derogatory talking about women's genitalia, you feel me? But I feel like pandering generally is talked about in that instance, and I feel like this might be one of those instances. You feel me?
I agree. And Ethereal Beauty agrees. Baby XOXO agrees. 46 Perfectly Imperfect says they was glad that they was taught not to believe everything you hear, and that's facts, right? Because ultimately, this type of pandering, this type of simping, led to him being exposed. Because as much as he talked shit about the way black men treated black women, he treated his wife like shit by cheating on her. So,
see, to me, I feel like my main analysis that I feel like that I've seen in the Derrick Jaxn is how the arguments I used to hear in debate from people talking about international relations when it comes to feminism in terms of war, and how women are always kind of seen as the first receivers of violence, you feel me, and things like that, and how even in individual conflict, when you get into it with a dude, one of the first things that's normalized is for you to attack, you feel me, the person they with, the woman they with, you feel me, whether you're talking about Derrick Jaxn, Obama, Donald Trump, you know what I'm saying, even people I get into it with, the first thing they jump to is talking shit about my wife or trying to say something about my wife, you know what I'm saying? Right. So to me, that's the thing that to me came, you know what I'm saying, more into it. And me, I have more of I feel like a intellectual beef criticism with Kevin Samuels more than Derrick Jaxn. I guess at least Derrick Jaxn was, I guess, trying to empower women. I think even though he was doing it in a very facetious way, you feel me, with ulterior motives in different instances, I feel like Kevin Samuels, 40, and at least got to be in his 40s, telling other grown women that you 5'5" and you weigh 200 pounds, you can be a running back and hit the outline and hit the O line and hit this, that, and the other. And it's like, bro, you sound like my high school students talking about.
And so now you're talking about Kevin Samuels, right?
Yeah, Kevin Samuels. I think I only know if I'm saying his name. I feel like it's Kevin Samuels, right? Yeah,
it's Kevin Samuels. Okay. So now for those who don't know, Kevin Samuels is another social media guru that speaks specifically to black women. These niggas is really, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy the political and the social capital you can build by shitting on black men or shitting on black women. You feel me? Because Kevin Samuels has built a social media influence simply by talking about high value man. I don't know what that means, but what made him go viral was the many ways, the many creative ways that he would find to talk shit and demean black women. And one thing that he does is he does lives where he allows black women on and black people on, and they talk to him about their dating prospects, and he shits on them. He talks about their physical appearance. He talks about the fact that, you know, they got kids, which makes them unqualified, and I mean, really kind of creates again. I don't even think respectability politics is the right word to use. Like he just creates this perception of black people where he divides it into, you know, black women who are useless, who don't deserve a man, all that type of shit, and then the black men who should be valued, who should be appreciated, and all this other shit, right? Now the reason why we bringing these people up is really not to get more so into their to challenge them or call them out. What is the appeal behind the social media guru? Why do these people end up getting the ears of individuals that look at them as subject matter experts when you dig, you know, and understand their real life? It's nothing that matches what it is that they doing in their car or in front of their camera. You know what
I don't know, man. You can speak for yourself. I would love to debate Kevin Samuels on gender roles and, you feel me, high quality men, high quality women. He could take one of those and defend it, and I would love to tear it apart and show just like how it's just like how, you know, my term lost in the sauce. So you feel me? Like, yeah, that's how it's coming. That's how it's coming with. Like, or he's not a debater, so having a conversation is probably what he would try to do some shit like. But you know.
So okay, so you saying that like somebody like Kevin Samuels, for example. Now I get that that's something that's somebody you want to debate, right? I give you that, right? But in terms of, you know, the appeal, because you somebody that they would consider a social media guru, like consciously is.
I feel like an educator. It's just an educator. It's just like I know I have a particular understanding and knowledge on different subjects, and I'm able to talk about those things. You know what I'm saying? I ain't telling you I got the solvency. I ain't telling you do. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you this how I understand how the world works. You feel me? And this is what I've studied. This is what I've researched, and this is how I'm presenting the information. You feel me? It's like I don't never try to present myself to be something I ain't.
So that's what you're saying in terms of like your following and how you develop and how you talk to people and how Kevin Samuels talk to people. Because you are hey, if y'all don't know, George is social media famous. All right, the nigga done been on TV. He done been in
news. Nothing like Derrick, Jaxn, or Kevin Samuels.
No, I mean, right, but when we talk about social media gurus, people do look to you to be like, you know, consciously's perspective helps educate me. It helps give me a perspective, right?
Okay, I dig that.
Now, but you saying that like the separation has to do with where you are explaining to the people, like what you explain.
I feel like where I'm explaining to the people and what type of authority that I take when I talk about what I'm talking to. You feel me? I think that everybody in social media, we try to take authority on whatever subject or whatever knowledge that we're talking about, whatever issues we're talking about. I think it's how you come to feel like you have the authority or the jurisdiction to be able to speak truth to power on a particular subject. And I just don't understand, you feel me, the expertise that Kevin Samuels specifically has that makes it where, you feel me, he's able to speak about relationships the way he is. Does he have this? I feel like I haven't done my research on him enough. I feel like he got his degree. I know he went to OU. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't know what he got his degree in, but it's like I'm just curious. It's like what gives you this? You feel me? But it's just like also too, it's like who am I though at the same time? It's like all that matters is he has a following. People, there are people that like to listen to him and people that, so I understand that. But to me, I'm just still curious about the actual, like, okay, fam, like what how you
and see and this is what fucked me up, right? What fucked me up is the approach that people like the way that they attach themselves to the approach that these people take, right? Like I can say that there's an authenticity, like the how you are on your page is like as we develop, even how I am on my page. All we did was translate what we did in debate and what we did in classrooms, you feel me, to what we do on the internet. So the way that we debate it is how we make videos. But there's this desire for black people to attach themselves to people that shit on them. And I'm not saying that that's something that's inherently about black people, but in terms of like these type of gurus, like somebody like Kevin Samuels, he builds his political capital shitting on, or his social capital, his social media capital by shitting on black women. And you know, a lot of people jump to being like, well, you know, people dumb and they follow whomever. But I think just like you pointed out and like what we got in the chat, it's like this is how our trauma is weaponized against us. And we look at it as advice when it's actually reifying a social structure or a social understanding that is inherently anti-black and antithetical to who we are as a people. Kevin Samuels is not that conversation ain't got nothing to do with actually helping people understand who they are, helping people develop relationships or any of that shit, because the approach itself is inherently toxic. Like the demeaning comments, right? The overly focus on physical appearance type shit.
Now, I think he's in tropes. I feel like he plays into tropes and pathologies that's already here. You feel me? It's like when you're able to take different symbols and different stereotypes of women and of black women, and you able to play with those in ways where you're able to always try to think about ways you can kind of link somebody else into it, fam. He tells 6-figure black women that you're damaged goods because you got kids, and how dare you try to find a man that also has the same type of social economic background that you have because you have kids. I don't know, man, want to be with no. It's just like, fam, you have these very archaic ass ways of talking about what is attractive and what is not attractive. You know what I'm saying? And what men are attracted to, what men ain't attracted to. And just like, bro, you can't, like, I don't like, to me, that's the weird part.
Now we do have Toya joining the conversation. Before we continue, we did get the decision. It was a very close debate, split decision right down the middle. For Cal State Fullerton, we have the director of debate for Cal State Fullerton right here, Toya Green. Shout out to them Titans.
Toya G in the place to be.
First, let us congratulate as the chop up, as the chat. Let's all congratulate Coach Toya Green on getting the team to the Elite 8 of the National Debate Tournament. You know what I'm saying? Let's give that round of applause. Let's get that love. Let's get
country. Elite 8.
Elite 8 of the country. Now, just for I think I was in the Sweet 16. I got knocked out my senior year. I got knocked out in the Sweet 16. Yeah. George made it to the final. Did you make it to the final? You made it to the Final Four, right?
Yeah.
George made it to the Final Four. What about your senior year?
I lost the same way on 3-4 decision.
I lost in the final 8, the top 8.
Another Elite 8. Yeah.
I lost on a.
Yeah, I lost in the Elite 8 in the Final Four. Then I guess because I lost in the quarterfinal. What's it called now?
I lost on a 4-1 decision to Harvard. Oh no, but the funny thing about my 4-1. The only person that voted for us was the one black dude on the panel. It was 4 white people I had never seen before. They ain't judged.
Hey, Toya, who was the people that voted for? Like, man,
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk. I jumped in the middle of the conversation. We'll talk about that later. But
We'll talk about it. But Toya, are you
the gurus? What's your take on, you know what I'm saying? You talked about Derrick Jaxn. You can give us your take on the Derrick Jaxn. We're talking about Kevin Samuels. I feel like you can jump in wherever you want to cue in. We're gonna just cue in where you cue in.
I don't know what y'all covered or not. I think one of the most, from my perspective, disappointing things about the Derrick Jaxn situation was the people and the women who were criticizing her. Even through the second video she pulled out talking about the breastplate of righteousness and the helmet of salvation, the bonnet of salvation, whatever we want to put a plot twist on that. It just was real kind of disgusting to see women alienate other women like that, and people alienate the person who got cheated on. You know, growing up, we watch TV and we see people, I can't believe you did this, and they go beat up the girl, and it's always like, you mad at the wrong person. You were upset at the wrong person, and I feel like it was really frustrating to see just her maligned like that, like clearly. And I don't even want to project on her what she got, like she insecure and she this and she that. We don't know people's lives, you know what I'm saying? So I think that was the sad or frustrating part about it, is that we were able to in the same breath say he's wrong, he's terrible, he's this, he's that, we can't believe he did this, he's been cheating forever, yada yada yada, he's a, you know, projecting, things on him. He's a psychopath. He's a sociopath. He's manipulative. He's a narcissist. This, that, and the other. He was wild, making response videos to his videos, to that video.
He made a third.
How you make a response video to your video?
Like, he a wild boy, but like, let's keep it on him. Those are legitimate and fair criticisms, but we don't, you know what I'm saying? You don't know what people are dealing with. And so I just really looked at, the way she was being targeted and dealt with. And I was just like, exactly. You know what I'm saying? And cult teas and, just abusive teas. And, we know abuse comes in a bunch of different forms, psychological, emotional, power. And so you just never really know what's happening behind closed doors. And the whole time I'm watching, like, y'all get distracted, start paying attention to the wrong things. Y'all worried about this girl beret or whatever bonnet, cap, whatever she got. And y'all not recognizing the fact that this person is getting millions and millions of views and retweets and reshares. And in a same video, similar situation, he said that it's a lot of
contradictions. 250,000 followers.
Not even conservative contradictions, but relationship contradictions. And it's just kind of sad. But that's me.
Yeah. Now, Kevin Samuels, we haven't, because usually we talk about shit like that, but like none of us are like, because we see ourselves like engaging as people who like put out information, like we coach students, we talk, you know what I'm saying? We provide information on social media. So other content creators, like we don't get into the following shit like most people do. What are your thoughts? Like, what are your thoughts on Kevin Samuels though?
Hey man, hurt people. To me, that he got some stuff he dealing with that has put him in a situation where he feels like superiority complex and condescending to people, paternalizing people, and being right about something you literally can't be right about. He finds gratification in that. You literally can't be right. You don't, like, it's so many illogical, non-understandable, don't really make sensical things about love, attraction, relationships. We see it time and time again. How many times you look up, like, how that nigga pull her? Why they together? How the hell y'all find each other? This, that, and the other. And it ain't your business and you can't explain it and you'll never be able to wrap your mind around it if you try. And so when he sits up there and condescends to women and asks them what their value is and when the last time they did this and then that, whatever, everybody got room for self-improvement. But I'm a communication scholar, baby. It's something in the tone, it's something in the message. And when you are being hurtful and conniving and just mean spirit, like nothing's entertaining to me about that. I don't like, you know what I'm saying? You can literally... Yeah. I don't know, but then, I think people are masochistic in the sense that they know what they sign themselves up for. You know what I'm saying? So you call Kevin Samuels, you're gonna get the Kevin Samuels treatment. And I don't know like what you're looking for. And so the sympathy is there, but protect what you put yourself or go where you're celebrated and not tolerated. You know what I'm saying? Like I just don't see the attraction. I don't see the entertainment value. It confuses me. He confuses me as a phenomenon. Ain't nothing legitimate about the man. I don't like the delivery. I don't care about your truths. I do care. I think delivery does matter. I do. I think it's important.
Yeah. I'll say this and then we can go ahead and because I don't want to spend too much time on these.
Yeah, say it and wrap it up and nip it.
I think ultimately, I never talk bad about the people who choose to listen to Kevin Samuels or the people who choose to listen to Derrick Jaxn. Because I think what Toya said is it's the approach that we don't have enough. Even though we use the hell out of that phrase, it's the approach that we don't have enough when we see people like Kevin Samuels doing what they do. Hurt people. He think he's being helpful. At least let's assume that, right? I ain't gonna put nothing on him. You know what I mean? I don't think that everybody. But that's what I'm saying. I don't want to say. I don't want to assume that he's like, his whole purpose is just to shit on people. Like, nah. Like you can say like, all right, he's trying to do something for this community in terms of love and all that other shit. But ultimately, we have to have a greater appreciation for ourselves as a people to know, like, yo, that's not helpful. And it starts with understanding who we are, understanding like what makes us valuable. Because when we adhere to certain standards or to certain value systems that ultimately don't have our best interests as a people, and I'm talking about the best interests of Black people, the image, the understanding, the perception of Black people, without having a clear understanding of that, anybody could just, have the solution, have what it takes. That's why most people end up developing followings. And so before, again, I don't fuck with what Kevin Samuels or Derrick Jaxn be on. but ultimately what they reflect is the desire of a people that's been hurt to lift themselves up, and the desire of people who are manipulative and who are looking for, or who are just looking to take advantage, to be able to use those people to do that.
I mean, I definitely, when you look at people in their childhood traumas and you look at the fact that a lot of people become mirrors for the things that they've been through. Like when I say hurt people, I look at Kevin Samuels as somebody who was probably nitpicked, left out, excluded, talked about. And here's my thing. I'm going to tell y'all what keep me in the game sometimes when I want to be discouraged comparing myself to other people. And it's that everybody got a thing. I want y'all to remember that every time you try to be like, oh, everybody got a thing or three that you don't really know, that just ain't on Front Street, that's not readily apparent to you, that they really struggle with, that they overcompensate for, that they double down for and hope that don't nobody ever find out, because if they did, it'd be done for them, baby. So when it's all said and done, it ain't really about finding it out or trying to get people to expose it, but it's really about understanding that that's where people operate from. You don't know everything. Nobody knows everything about a particular thing. So when you purport yourself to be the person to qualify or disqualify people from relationship, compassion, love, future relationship, that come from a place of you being done like that. And you want to make sure that when it comes to setting the standard of what is qualify somebody and give somebody value, you could be the biggest nigga in the room. And I'm just not moved. I'm not moved. That shit comes from somewhere. And that's a hurt individual that feels like the medium for the message has to be so gratuitously hurtful in order for it to resonate. And then the fact that you recorded and show it to everybody for entertainment factors. Nobody with common sense is signing up for that shit, trying to get guidance and leadership on their future. It is for entertainment factors, for dummies and dodos to sign up for it, to put themselves on Front Street in a masochistic way, to subject themselves to some bullshit.
What happened to the delivery? I thought we was talking about the delivery. What happened?
Yeah, hey, I like that, how they wrapped up in a bow. You feel me? With that being said, we can go on and jump in, because that was lovely right there. That was just fire.
Even though I was supposed to be ending it, but you know,
no, that's good. That's good. Hey, Damo, just make sure you put us that. We think clip them all. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. We need to clip.
Yeah, this will be clipped tomorrow.
You're going off. I need that clip tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hey,
but just let me say this: be careful though. We got to be careful, because these people have cult followings, goddamn. But y'all don't want this smoke. Shit, ain't nobody scared of no motherfucking Kevin Samuels. Moving on. Let's go ahead and get into this culture chop, G Lee.
Hey, moving on into the culture chop. We know that in the past couple of days, Mr. Old Town Road has caused a lot of controversy. You know what I'm saying?
Montero.
There was a video, Montero, video had a lot of visuals. And, the video ended, pretty much with Lil Nas X sliding down a stripper pole into hell, and seducing the devil and killing the devil and, taking over hell, essentially. Pretty much broke the neck, right? So, there are a lot of polarizing responses, a lot of lines have been drawn in the sand. I've seen in more ways than some. You feel me? So I'm just curious, before I get into my specific, how I feel about it. If you ain't seen how I feel about it, we're gonna get into it to the chop up. But Toya, political plug, what is y'all initial responses for Lil Nas X busting it open for the devil?
Damo?
All right. I'm torn. Right, because like a lot of what's one of our favorite words, Toya, that we learned in high school? Counter hegemonic. Counter hegemonic. It means going against the dominant hegemony, the dominant influence. It's always to the benefit of Black people to operate counter hegemonically, because most of the hegemonies or the influencers of our society typically operate in anti-Black fashions. So when we push back against that influence, we're pushing against anti-Blackness or anti-queerness. You know what I'm saying? Like those, we're pushing back against the normative influencers, the things that say this is what's normal. Because the two people that get kicked out of that shit is Black people, queer people, especially Black queer people.
Definitely.
Right. So in an instance where you have somebody that's a black man specifically, yeah, because he ain't said he trans or nothing else. So based on we just gonna go we go somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming last time I checked his pronouns were he him. All right.
Yes.
Because he said he was gay. He didn't say he was trans, he said he was gay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so from that perspective, I'm like, all right, hey, you know what I'm saying? Fuck the system. Fuck the normative value system and fuck the basic understanding. Embrace that deviance that we've been labeled as. Embrace that. But at the same time, I'm a nigga. We were raised very Christian-like. You know what I'm saying? Because like my concern, it ain't the queer shit. Like, hey, do your thing, do your thug thizzle, pimp. It's the devil shit for me. It's the devil shit. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, because of how polarizing he's been in terms of being a queer hip hop artist, that like operating in the space that most queer hip hop artists haven't been able to do. Like even Young M.A. with like her making a splash, she wasn't able to garner like the mainstream success and popularity. Like she's still a known rapper,
Right.
Lil Nas X is mainstream, so he has access to an influence that queer rappers haven't had access to, and he's displaying that. Right? Do that. It's the devil shit.
Hey, yeah. What you think, William?
So
it's the devil shit. You know what I'm saying? It's the devil shit. Like I ain't even Christian like that. I'm gonna let you get into it. I ain't even Christian like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm Christian culturally because like black people, y'all know what it is. We grew up in the church, goddamn it. And as much as I'm just like forward thinking and progressive and all of that shit, devil imagery is something that I just can't get behind. So that's my shit.
So I identify as a Christian as well. And I look at it and I feel like for me, it's not.
And you identify as queer too, right? You
I
identify
do.
as queer too, right? Yeah.
I do. I am a black queer Christian. And in that regard, I look at the video and I am not attracted to it. It's not for me. But I understand that it has its place in the world and that everybody doesn't believe what I believe. And that even then, there are a lot of criticisms and a lot of my orientation toward Christianity and my reconciliation of my faith have been with navigating those contradictions. A huge reason why I don't give up on my faith, despite the contradictions that exist both in word and deed in terms of Christians contemporarily, but also in terms of how biblical things are interpreted, are because everything else in our lives get to be contradictions or to not align perfectly, and we end up being okay with that. So I'm not about to pick out of what I believe in. I'm gonna take it flaws and all. I'm gonna navigate it how I feel like I need to for a faith that is mine and mine alone. I was born alone. I'm going to die alone. And so in relationship to things like what Lil Nas put out, I just, the Bible says do things like protect your ear gate and protect your eye gate. So if you are not protecting your ear gate and your eye gate, and you are allowing those types of images, those types of messages to seep in and change and radically shift your perspective on what you believe in, you got to check your faith. It's not up to Lil Nas X or nobody else or a record company to come in and not do what they are made to do, which is sell items. Lil Nas X's job is provoke conversation. He's been teasing this song for 9 months. Talking about playing little pieces of it. They've been begging for it. You didn't think, like, I'm sitting back here just like, as people of faith, you know what I'm saying? There are questions about what you need to do and how you need to prepare your spirit and what you need to understand about moving around the world and what you can come to expect. It's been the end of time since I was alive and before. Right. So if you're not ready by now for the signs and symbols of wickedness, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and rulers of darkness and high places. Like,
come on now.
That you say. So the
come on now.
That is being created for you to be both shocked and awed. It's just like, but the you know how they break down Bible BIBLE basic instructions before leaving Earth. Did you read the basic instructions? You're surprised. You seem so surprised. And so I don't get it.
Yeah.
And so I've been loving watching Lil Nas X cook every person. It was some preacher, white preacher, going in on him. He called him everything but a nigga, as well as talking about him being gay, as well as talking about the music, and the song and things. Lil Nas X retweeted and said, "I'm gonna sample this." I died because yes, do what you gonna do. It's not for me, but I get it and I understand it, and it's not that hard to wrap my mind around.
At all.
So I don't know what I'm supposed to do besides be like, what? Also, Billie Eilish. I think somebody in the comments who said that. Wild Yam said, "Didn't hope don't artists come out all the time with." You know,
we gonna get into these comments.
Hey, that's where I want to come in at. That's where I want to come in at. That's where I want to come. I said that's why I want to come in. Like that's where I come in at this comment right here and just being like how I see it is. Wild Yam said,
no shame to anyone. No shame to anyone, maybe, but the Christianity that most of us know is a very whitewashed Christianity that's forced upon us after the theft of our tribal religions, 1000%. And see, this is what I mean when I say there are so many contradictions of my faith. Like, I understand the notions and have been critical of everything from the spectrum of queerness and how the Bible has dealt with that and the entanglements with pedophilia and how we should interpret those things to African cultures and religions and deities. PBS, by the way, has a very interesting, if you want to look at something at an interesting documentary about the Black church on YouTube and on your smart TVs, if you got the PBS app, check it out, because they even talk about the influences of African culture that completely directly disagree with the Christianity. We were like, it's interesting.
That's what I think that I know that there's a lot of symbols that have been kind of demonized because people don't understand what those symbols are. And most of those symbols just happen to be a part of the African, you feel me, tradition. Whether we're talking about West Africa, we're talking about East Africa, when we're talking about goat heads, or we're talking about, you know what I'm saying? So from my understanding, this from being down south, how I was raised, if you tell a person from literally you existing, you're an abomination, you going to hell. You psychologically trying to use fear to push somebody into saying, I don't want you, I'm not going to be the person I am then because I want to go to heaven.
Yeah,
you gotta understand it's gonna be a person that be like, fuck it. Yeah. I'm gonna go to hell for being gay. Well, guess what? Not only am I go to hell, I'm gonna go to hell on a stripper pole. And not only am I gonna go to hell, I'm gonna go down there and I'm gonna seduce the devil and take that motherfucker over. You feel me? And in my mind, it's just like you have to be able to reconcile with. You can't say you gotta respect my religion because you cannot expect somebody to have respect for a religion that don't respect for them. That don't respect them. You know what I'm saying? In my mind, just the same way we tell America we don't want to do the Pledge of Allegiance, so we don't do this. The same arguments that a lot of niggas is using for the Bible is the same arguments that those white people use. And then I also think the thing that make me irritated is a lot of the same people that was telling the conservatives last month that it is not Cardi B's job to raise my kids. It's not the same people is saying like Nas X has the ability to raise your kids and he your daddy.
And
I don't want to hear shit about him. Well, consciously, the Old Town Road song made it for him to get in with kids, and because he got in with kids, you ain't had that energy.
I didn't even know Old Town Road was a kid song. I don't know where is that coming from?
He said, talk about
stripping lean.
Yeah,
in that song.
Listen,
like Old Town Road is not a kid, but that just show you how the people that's critical of this shit. You feel me? It's really confirmation bias,
though, man. We literally listen. All of the kids, the same kids that was dancing in Old Town Road was all the same kids doing the Savage Challenge, especially to the remix with Beyonce.
I'm a savage.
Grammy. She said, "On that demon time, I may start on OnlyFans."
What you talking about?
On that demon. So we understand what you say. That's it's a art. It's a term of art. Feel me? So why you don't have it? Literally, nobody talk about canceling Biggie. Biggie literally said, "Fuck going to heaven, and I want to go to hell. Don't want to go to heaven with the goodies. Want to go to hell." Some black did not. Come on, man. We was just talking about getting it back in blood and smoking hot packs all month. If that's not some devilish shit and you ain't had that same energy, I don't get why you have the outrage in this instance. If you don't think smoking hot packs is the devil, if you don't, you feel me? So to me, it's just outrage, and I think that it's just low hanging fruit. That he just happened to be gay, so it's easy for you to be like that symbolism is bad because it's like, hey man, stop playing these games, man.
Not to mention the convenient Christianity. You know what I'm saying? Not to mention the convenient Christianity. Everybody want to be a believer. Everybody all of a sudden know the Bible back and forth. They're ready to apply it and know, you know what I'm saying, where you going and how you getting there. Why? Where was his energy? Why you like killing, shooting, 50 niggas, killing 100 niggas, nothing. Like, come on, man. Like, just you gotta pick. And if you're gonna be inconsistent, be quiet. Like, that's why I share my faith, and people who know me know what I believe and know how I believe and know how I get down and know the principles and know the ethics and the morals and the beliefs and value systems that inform who I am and how I move. A lot of the reason I'm nice as I am is because there's a Jesus Christ.
What?
Showed me compassion and grace. You know what I'm saying? And so that's how I move. And the people who know me know that. So I don't hide who I am or how I believe, what I believe. But I understand the conflictual nature. So I'm never beating my chest too hard, to the point that I'm boxing out space for things to exist and me just being able to opt out of them. I'll do that all day long. That's not for me. Amen. I don't want shoes with human blood in them. With a satanic pin, the little, I just don't want them.
I'm good on it.
And the question,
I ain't paying $1,000 on a pair of shoes off the rip, especially for a pair of Nikes. But look, I'm good on it, off the rip, on principle. So I ain't even worried about that. Them shoes wasn't made for me. I wasn't the consumer in mind that he had when he made those shoes. It's not for me. So I'm good.
I really feel like if you're gonna call yourself a believer, you know what I'm saying?
Be consistent, man.
Be consistent. Like be consistent. Recognize the inconsistencies and peace be still. What the Bible says, Salah. I mean, be quiet. Mm-hmm. Shut up and meditate. And then lastly, I'll say this: raise your standard for your walk. Raise your standard for how you are protecting because you're too nervous for me. You're too panicky for me. You're too easy to be infiltrated. And those are referendums on how you believe and how your faith has been situated, not necessarily on this world.
Without a doubt.
You know what I'm saying? Like, these things should be expected. And I said that before.
Well, hey, before we get into the comment section, the main Bible verse that people pull up is Leviticus about abomination and homosexuality. In the book of Leviticus, there are a lot of things that are damned. If you mixing your silk and your polyester, you out of there. If you eat an abomination that doesn't have shell on it, I mean that doesn't have scales on it, you out of there.
That's an abomination. So all you catfish loving niggas,
you out of there. If you putting a razor to the side of your head, you out of there. These are all verses that are in Leviticus, but people like to pick and choose and say that this is the one that is there. The Bible also says that for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. We all also created in His image. So is there some type of exception when it comes to LGBTQ, gender, trans, non-conforming? So is this the exception for made in God, image of God? Because to me, it's a lot of tomfoolery going on. Because the same people that's having this outrage want to box with me and say, I want to listen to my R. Kelly. Well, goddamn, you don't think God got a different beef for pedophilia?
Boy, because even the thing about R. Kelly, it was all about sexual energy, right? So let's bypass the fact that majority of the music glorifies extramarital sex or premarital sex.
Man, the Bible say if your hands cause you to sin, you should cut the motherfuckers off. If your eyes cause you to sin, you should gouge them out. Everybody that had the ability to see the Nas X video, if you have now all of a sudden you're high and righteous and you a Bible thumper and you had the ability to see it and touch it, you full of shit. And you just picking and choosing.
And then look, and I said
New Testament when it said to pick your eyes out and take your hands out. That was in the New Testament. You picking Old Testament verses to talk about homosexuality.
And that's the thing. People want to talk how to influence. You know, I think we shared a tweet that was popular floating around on the page. That's like somebody's child said, you know, Mom, if I can be compelled by this video to be queer or whatever, why can't I? If they're under that same logic, why can't I just watch a Meg video and undo it and go back
and turn back straight?
Heterosexual before. The same for the same logic and the same reason, and I like to forward the same question. If that video was enough to make you lose your faith, question your faith, to pull you that way, then why you can't just put on Kirk and go the opposite direction? Here's the thing about homosexuality, heterosexuality, of faith in Jesus Christ and not one. There are probably so much more than that small thing that was either gonna push you one way or another. These videos was not the tiebreaker. You know what I'm saying? If you was gonna believe and worship Satan, you was probably
already gonna do that
before and outside of you watching this little Nas X video. If you was gonna recognize that it exists, be like, oh, that's not for me, whatever. You probably was gonna do that before. I don't see your faith being shaken.
Let me say this to you.
3-4 minutes of a little. You was already gonna do what you was gonna do.
Already?
That video is not the tiebreaker.
That was already on your chest, man. That was already on your mind. Don't put that on there. You're responsible for your actions.
Stop.
In that same lane, if Lil Nas X is making your child gay, making anybody gay, newsflash, they were already gay, bro.
Just not how it works, man. It's not how sexuality works.
It was already there. Like if it appealed to them,
too,
go ahead.
What they said, the biggest issue a lot of people got is not that these things exist. It's the fact that now you got to admit you letting iPads and phones and YouTube raise your kids. You letting Xboxes and they just sit on YouTube and let videos roll all day. And now you have to confront the fact that now you have to sit down and talk to your kids about how they should. Now it's, this nigga done created another conversation. I gotta have. Now you gotta be a parent.
Oh shit! You gotta.
Now you gotta parent somebody.
Let's get into these comments though. It's a few of them, so y'all bear with us. Wild Yam said, "I still think people are really misunderstanding this video. The symbology that's there is not about signs and symbols of wickedness. The video is about about the fucked up nature. That's fucking up is one of my favorite. Actually, y'all checking out the political plug. This is where y'all fucking up. I break down where y'all be fucking up. But he said the video is about the fucked up nature of condemnation. Agree. It's really about him embracing, because being queer, you specifically by the religious community, you told you going to hell. Well, if you seeing that this is who I am, well, shit, that's where I'm gonna be. So you can't be mad that a nigga is embracing a label and a framing that you've placed on them. He pretty much saying, okay, yeah, y'all saying I'm gonna go to hell because I'm gay. I'll meet y'all down there. And I'm gonna seduce the damn devil.
And I'm gonna show out on the way.
Right. Y'all got anything to say about that?
Yeah, man. We can go and get to the next chop. You feel me?
Hey, let's slide out. Basically. Well,
I was gonna get a couple more of these comments real quick.
Oh man, my bad.
A lot of people was speaking that real. Khadijah said the same with Islam, but I feel like people are so literal with these scriptures, and that's the worst part about it, because they're trying to take something that has a symbolic understanding and trying to apply it to
a historical context.
And a historical context, and they trying to apply it to some shit that's happening right the fuck now. Rings of Blaze said, being told you're going to hell as a feminine boy from 6 and up, that's traumatic. I love that he wasn't afraid to say, I don't care if I go, I'm gonna be me.
And that's all that to me, that's the main point of the video, is that if you tell me I'm gonna go to hell for being me, well, I'm going to hell because I'm gonna be me.
A couple more. Izzy said, shout out to Izzy. Why are people more worried about Lil Nas making a taboo video than they are about him feeling unable to be himself within their faith? Because they don't give a fuck. That's the simple answer. They really don't give a fuck. The people that operate within a particular faith and how they think about the shit, how you feel personally, what makes you is irrelevant to adhering to the dogma. That's another conversation. Though. We ain't gonna get to. We get one more before we go to this last chop. Cause y'all, and we appreciate all y'all commenting, because y'all really been adding a lot to this conversation, and we have been responding to comments. With
everybody
what we've been saying
right now too, man. I see everybody pouring in. I told them when they came in, let us know where you coming in. So it's everybody in Utah, South Carolina, Houston, New Jersey. Shout out to everybody.
In this thing.
And yo, we got 99 people in here. You know what I'm saying? Make sure
everybody whether you subscribe.
Yeah, if you on the Conscious League, make sure you subscribe to the Chop Up Show on YouTube and on Facebook. If you're on the Chop Up Show on YouTube or on Facebook, make sure y'all subscribe to the Conscious League. Those are the 3 platforms we own. Thank all y'all for joining us.
Washington, Florida, Georgia.
But the last comment we'll get into is the Theory of Beauty. You know, we got to show some of our our strongest supporters love. She said, seems like they're more bothered that the threat doesn't work anymore. Kind of like an abusive parent who can't beat you no more because you grown now. That's deep.
And that's really what I think it is. The psychological fear that you can't use this against me now anymore. And you can't literally have psychological shit on me where I have to question who I am and what I am and what my existence means to heaven and hell. You can't use that against me no more. To me, I feel like it's disarming to people that can't use it.
And that materializes itself in one of two ways. Either you fall away from the faith, you fall away from what you was taught to believe, and you find another way to rationalize, to understand, and to accept who you are, how you live, and how you function in this world. Or you fall deeper into the faith, largely because you're able to look at the standards and the orientations, the boxes, the frames you've been put into, and say that the guy that I've been taught about, the guy that's been introduced to me, the guy that I fell in love with, that I have built relationship and not religionship with, is so much bigger.
Matthew 4:4.
I feel it so much deeper and so further beyond what you're talking to me about. And I've done my research to back up my positionality and my understanding of my faith. And here's the thing. If salvation is an individual thing, I wasn't getting into heaven on your ticket anyway, boss.
Well, what you about to say? I ain't putting no fish on your line. Your soul is not contingent to mine, so I'm not invested like that. You feel me?
At all. Actually, all that's required of me is to love you.
I'm a period. No man, nothing but to love them. You know what I'm saying? And I sleep good at night. I'm gonna tell you why I sleep good at night, because I know for a fact that before I let one of y'all tell me what's about to happen to me, I just wait and holler at them when I get up there. Holler at them when I get up there. You know what I'm saying? I rather had a conversation.
What I believe in.
You're not finna tell me. I go holler at them. I figure it out when we get up there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm good. I'm good. And that's in terms of my perception of heaven and the criticisms of that exist. And how like. Listen.
Yeah, man. I'll wrap this up, man. I'm gonna wrap this up, man.
Go ahead, wrap it up, bro.
I think that one of the main sentiments that's come out of this Nas X controversy is people saying, "What about the kids? What about the kids? What about the kids?" Just as a parent, you know what I'm saying, that has 2 kids, y'all need to stop keeping up this fake ass care for the kids, because y'all don't give a damn about the kids. And they was doing spot him, got him challenges, hit him in his dress, and I knock his dress off. My nigga caught a body and I call him Randy Moss. So if you think that the symbolism of the devil is greater than death itself, you are lost in the sauce of symbolism. And I would encourage you to do some more research about where these symbols come from, because a lot of these symbols that you kind of put a lot of these meanings to, a lot of these meanings have the origin where they don't understand what the fuck they talking about anyway. A lot of these things, especially in the Black community, come from our ancestors in Yoruba tribe and different, you know what I'm saying, different tribes throughout West Africa. And Western society has demonized these and made us buy into them in that way. And I think that the next time you think about your kids and you think about what you're doing with your kids, just be consistent in terms of what you mean by devilish and demonic. You know what I'm saying? Because if you let your kids listen to secular music anyway, I don't know why all of a sudden you're talking about thumping Bibles and talking about this, that, and the other. Because I think that now you're just playing the game. I think now you're playing games. You feel me? Or the word would say you're being lukewarm. And if you're really trying to get some salvation,
or as niggas would say, the word he don't kick you out anyway.
Hey,
it's too much capping.
The Bible says you get spewed out. If you look warm, you
spew it out anyway. So Lil Nas X. So if you had the wet ass pussy and there was no issue, and you was on Raise Your Kids studying the Republicans, had that same energy with Lil Nas X. That is not the same energy.
Hey, y'all fucked around and voted for Donald Trump, a nigga who said he did not read the Bible and does not read the Bible and does not look for salvation. Hypocrites. Stop playing with me. Speaking of, fuck it. Let's go ahead and do it. Like, we already there. Let's go and get to this political chop to close this thing out.
Yeah, man.
Because we cannot end the show without talking about the crooked ass attempts to deny Black people the right to vote.
I wouldn't even say attempts at this point. Them hoes set in stone.
It's law.
I know in Oklahoma and in Georgia, them mugs are set in stone. You feel me? In Oklahoma, if you live in the state of Oklahoma and you decide you want to protest, you need to be very mindful and conscious of the laws that garner, you know what I'm saying, those little environments. You feel me? So if you a protester in the state of Oklahoma and your ass get ran over, by law, your death and or you being ran over can be justified if you're a part of a protest. If you live in Florida, you feel me? There is right now a bill on the docket right now that says that if you protesting, they can take your right to vote. You know what I'm saying? They can shoot you. You feel me? They can kill you and get away with it because you're a protester. You know what I'm saying? If they feel like there's any way, shape, form, or fashion that you as a protester are trying to get in the way of business as usual traffic or something like that, they can run you over and shoot you. If you're in the state of Georgia and you see all the different ways and how they was able to make it where niggas is going to go vote, you want to give water, you want to give food, that is now illegal. You know what I'm saying?
So let's now what's kind of sparking this conversation is that we all know what happened in Georgia. Stacey Abrams, Keisha Lance Bottoms, the black political machine in Georgia, which was a strong Republican stronghold. They fucked that up all the way up. Georgia voted Democrat, and not only did Georgia vote Democrat, but both Republican senators lost their races. So now Georgia, as a state, in terms of the federal level, is represented blue. They voted the president, a blue president, blue senators. All right. One thing that we know, anybody who study politics and study voting habits understand that when voter turnout is high, y'all can go check the old tapes. Niggas was saying high voter turnout means Republicans lose. Period. Statistically, if a lot of people vote, most of them are not voting for Republicans. And so in order for Republicans to combat that, again, they not saying, fuck it. All right, well, let's be more open. Let's be more understanding. Let's appreciate multiculturalism and all that other shit. Nah, they like, fuck it. We just gonna take away people's rights to vote. Now, according to Rolling Stone, the newest anti-voter bill is what I call it. Anti-black vote bill that came out recently. That's now a law in Georgia. Currently does a few really fucked up things, right? The most fucked up is they made it illegal in Georgia to pass out water or other refreshments to people standing in line waiting to vote. You know who did that for voters? Black people were doing that for voters. They made it illegal to refresh people who are standing in line to exercise their right to vote. It's illegal. It's illegal to help them out. Now, can y'all give me any reason other than the fact that niggas did it, that Republicans would make it illegal to give water to people in voting lines? Can y'all give me, is there any other reason? I mean, am I tripping? Like, y'all know I don't fuck with conservatives. Is this bias? Like, what?
Man, I mean, we know it's biased. To me, I feel like it's more about how can we keep that steam that we had in 2018 for the midterm election? How can we keep that steam and everybody going to the voter turnout for, 2020? How can we keep that in terms of seeing what's going down right now and making it when 2022 roll around that we had that same energy? We see what's going down. We see what's moving around. You know what I'm saying? At this point, I feel like even the most revolutionary of the revolutionary recognize that no matter how you feel about them laws you have to abide by in one way or another, and they garner how society run. So we see they able to do all this crazy ass shit to make it where we can't even drink and eat in damn line because we got to sit in line for 8 hours because our poll area is crazy. You ain't making it where we have accessibility in a way. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think we have to be a way for us to try to keep the steam.
Yeah, I think a lot of predictions are already that I think historically, the same way George was talking about every time voter activity, voter participation is up, Republicans lose. There's a trend that every time Democrats win, that they fail to show up for primaries and that they end up losing the subsequent terms. So a lot of times, the second terms have been a lot more close and a lot more contentious than the first. Remember, Barack Obama was legendary. He was historic. He was doing something amazing. And then what happened? We saw the uphill battle with Hillary Clinton and how close that election was. And so I say all this to say Democratic voters, right, or people who don't identify, just like we talk about not white people, but non-white people, non-Republican people, need to build a relationship with the ballot that sustains in 2022, or it's going to be bad news bears coming up because the resurgence of Trump is already on path, right? Trumpism hasn't left. It hasn't died. It's not even that Republicans are going to win again. It's that Trump specifically is going to win again. And if Trump doesn't win again for some weird reason, whoever becomes the runner-up to take his place or to unseat him will have very similar politics with a nuanced approach that won't be enough for you to overcome a lot of your biggest fears. So, and that's because Trumpism runs deep, right? If not him, that politic, that orientation, that relationship, that ideological approach to politics is here to stay. That's the true America right there. right? So there's no more cluelessness or skepticism about what's popping. It really becomes difficult to see a path for Democrats to have a resurgence. And I think a lot of states that you saw flip or even sit steadily blue will start to turn red again during 2022 because of people's tendency to be inactive once they win.
Now, a few of the things that I want to add. Now, that's been the biggest, right? Because I think that's the most egregious. Like, that's the most gratuitous. Like, y'all literally saying, yeah, fuck y'all. We trying to make it hard as fuck for y'all to vote. But according to Rolling Stone, the new law also allows for unlimited challenges to voter registration, a tactic that has been used to racially profile voters, intimidate them from voting, or knock them off voter rolls completely. The new provision is just opening an even worse Pandora's box of race-based, ethnicity-based challenges. And this is where it's important, where Toya was saying that Trumpism isn't going anywhere. Among the new laws, other provisions are restrictions on mail-in voting. Voters will be required to provide either their driver's license or a state ID number or a photocopy of their identification to cast a mail-in ballot. It also bans third-party groups from sending absentee ballot applications to voters and ends the use of portable polling sites like the mobile voting bus used in Democratic Fulton County last cycle. So pretty much they cataloged all of the productive efforts to get out the vote for black people, for urban communities, and they've demonized and illegalized all of those efforts. Now, the reason that this has to do specifically with Trumpism is because, as the Rolling Stone states, the new law basically codifies Trump's grievances against Republican officials in the state who resisted his efforts to overturn the election there. Now, y'all remember we went over a call that Donald Trump had with Brad Raffensperger, who was the Secretary of State of Georgia, in terms of overturning the election. If you listen to that call, what Donald Trump is saying specifically is that the efforts of Stacey Abrams is kicking y'all ass. Stacey Abrams is fucking y'all up. And what they have done is they took that criticism and said, all the tools that she used, we are going to undermine.
I definitely see that. And I also see it being like a functional contradiction of white supremacy that says that when black people try to say anything about the reality, we're going to try to chastise them and say that you don't vote enough, and we're going to say that you're not active enough in the political process. But on the flip side, when you get involved in the political process at record high numbers, we're going to pass record goddamn policy that restricts your record ad coming out here again and doing what you did. So to me, it's just a white supremacist contradiction. And the reason why I think it's white supremacist is because I feel like at the forefront of what's being promoted is white superiority when it comes to literally the law and who gets to create, you feel me, policies, who gets to be the people sit at the table when the policy making process starts, and who gets to say enforce the nose and who gets to do all that. I feel like that's what to me is what it is.
I don't know. I think the thing that baffles me the most about a lot of this is that these are elected officials. And so when I see policies like this be formed, I think, again, I talked about this in terms of like, remember we was like, who the hell is voting for Trump? Like, it make you real skeptical and look over your shoulder in your community. And that's because the whole reason why these people are able to present these types of policies to do things like strip the Voter Rights Act and to do all types of weird shit with voter rights laws and be Christians in one breath, but deny people water. The Bible literally says my neighbor was thirsty and I gave him drink, and they just like, no water for you. Like, that is mind blowing for me that these same conservative Republicans would do these things. But, I think the most scary part is that the reason why these things are able to happen is because people vote for these people. And it's not necessarily that they shy about their intentions or they're shy about their desires, right? There are people who can be removed from office, and it's just literally the American conscience is one that's like, we want you to go and do these types of things. We're not upset. We're not angry. We're not appalled. You're not doing things that don't reflect our needs. And so we're calling you and blowing your office up, telling you better fix your shit because we put you in there. We can take you out. No, this is what the majority of Americans want from their representatives. And that is mind blowing, because not that I felt safe before, but it's just like, this shit is deep because it's people co-signing, it's people electing these people to go in and make sure they strip their rights to make this country what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and I feel like, and I feel like this is where it kind of gets into that thing where it's like, Niggas is still arguing about whether or not we should vote. While motherfuckers are saying, don't even worry about that. Yeah, it's motherfuckers. It's like, don't even worry about it. We got that. We'll take care of that.
Yeah, whatever. To me, I feel like this woman that went to jail. To me, it's like
let's be clear. Let's talk about that. The woman that went to. Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Explain who went to jail though. Explain that.
I'm about to set it up.
Yeah.
The whole world seen what happened January 6th, where a lot of people were able to take arms and go into the nation's capital and quote unquote protest, even though I feel like they were doing it very violently. Georgia State lawmaker, you feel me? Park Cannon was arrested and removed from the Georgia Capitol, put in handcuffs for knocking on the governor's door. A black woman that is an elected official. That has happened to be a black woman was arrested and taken to jail for trying to be president. Huh?
I think the charge she got was a felony charge too.
Ah man.
Yeah, it was on. Yeah, that's Capitol grounds, right? That's state government.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh yeah.
So if you get arrested on.
She faces a felony obstruction and preventing or disrupting General Assembly. Those are the two. Felony obstruction and preventing or disrupting General Assembly.
Now, this is what makes this thing unique. Stacey Abrams commented on this herself. The bill, which was passed, let me make sure I got the time frame correct, because it was like that, right? The way in which they passed it. Let me just make sure I got how soon did it become law? Let's see. Governor Brian Kemp signed the 95-page bill on Thursday evening, less than 2 hours after it passed both houses of the state legislature. Now, both houses of the state legislature of the state of Georgia are Republican controlled. Stacey Abrams is quoted as saying, "In my 11 years in the legislature, I never saw a bill approved at such speed. This isn't efficiency. Republicans want to hide their shameful actions from public scrutiny." There was no conversation, right? Republicans knew that they needed to get this bill passed with no debate, with no conversation. And as soon as they knew that the media got a hold of what was being done, then there would be enough pushback to stop it from happening. Within 2 hours of them voting on it, it was signed, right? That's collusion. That is an active effort to deny the rights of black people the ability to vote. What's insidious about this, and what I'm always talking about when it comes to the modern ways in which the political machine or the political machines are used to disenfranchise black people, is that because of how the people that are in control kind of frame what it is or phrase what it is that they're doing, that's how they attempt to escape criticism of racism. For example, they make it about an issue of the integrity of the voting system. Who the fuck got arrested for voter fraud? Somebody help me understand. Who got arrested for voter fraud? Republicans.
Yeah.
Anytime you look at any efforts to do any crooked shit with a in terms of votes from 2016 to 2020, it's been Republicans. They do that shit. Common sense tells you that if this is not a concern, if voter fraud is not a concern, if people who shouldn't be voting is not a concern, the real reason why they are doing it is to actively work to disenfranchise black voters. Period.
Specifically,
ain't no way to get around
in the country.
Ain't no way to get around that. So, I mean, like it ain't even no point in. I mean, we wanted to talk about that the current efforts, but shit, it's obvious.
Yeah, it's obvious.
It's obvious. It is.
You know that if you live in Arkansas, I know for a fact I've seen that Arkansas is also, you know what I'm saying, trying to get them some bills that's similar to these anti-protesting. You feel me? And I just think that really throughout the country, especially if you live in traditional Republican states, you should be very mindful and going on and get your research on in terms of figuring out what the hell going on in your state and what the implications will be if you decide to go protest, if you decide to go do something, what the implications is for you to be able to vote.
This ain't about protest, but the state of Arkansas officially became the first state in the country to ban health care to trans youth.
Yeah.
So trans youth are no longer able
to. Arkansas is my mind for some reason.
Arkansas did some other shit too.
And Utah did some crazy shit too recently. I think dealing with some trans, you know what I'm saying, some trans identities. So I just think that, you know, there's a lot of things that we have to take in mind. And I just feel like when I say white supremacist contradictions is that black people are murdered for not conforming to the law and not having a knowledge of the law. Meanwhile, the people that justify our death for not conforming to the law or deliberately breaking it by passing unconstitutional laws and or talking about saying if they pass a law about taking my gun, I'm going to break the law and say, hey, come and get it. If they pass a mandate and say I have to wear a mask, I'm going to not take my mask on and say I ain't doing that because it's that and the other. But if a black person break the law, they deserve to die. That is a contradiction. To me, that is a functional white supremacist contradiction of how the law gets to be pushed on the people and how it justifies our death in law. Because right now we see the contradiction right now with George Floyd. You feel me? And Derrick Chauvin. On one instance, George Floyd was big and bad and scary. On another instance, the same defense that's saying he was big and bad and scary in the courtroom, the legal courtroom, is also saying that he was weak, and he was vulnerable, and he was a drug addict. So which one is it? Goddamn.
Which one is it?
Was he big, bad, scary, and strong, or was he weak and vulnerable and a drug addict? It's obvious contradiction.
Obvious. And then, man, look, Toya, is there anything else you want to add before we go ahead and wrap it up?
No, we can put a bow on it.
Man, yeah. So you know, it's as simple as this, man. Like these voting conversations. Again, we cannot wait until the last minute. We can't wait until people asking you to vote to then be like, well, should we? Just look at the fact that they don't want you to. That's it.
Right now, we can be making some people right now. 2022, 2024. Instead of us picking who they pick for, we can be building to somebody right now.
And this is what I've been saying for years at this point. It's like if voting did not matter, you would not see this much effort to stop you from voting. Period.
Yeah, that part.
If it wasn't a big deal, why the fuck are they passing laws to challenge things that on face value don't need to be challenged? Why are they limiting the access, or just limiting the accessibility to voting to black people if black people voting doesn't matter?
Dominique, they're not doing that. They're just making it where you Negroes cannot eat or drink in the lines. Because we know last time we got the voting poll back, they had chicken grease on it. We had people giving chicken out in lines and things and giving Kool-Aid. We don't want that to be in our vicinity.
They don't want watermelon seeds on their votes.
We don't want watermelon seeds and chicken grease all over the lines and things, you know. So we're gonna make sure, because obviously, guys, that's not civil.
Yeah, man. So yeah, like I'm the political plug. This conversation ain't done. We back. We took a little break, but we back. We ain't had a political chop in a minute too. We about to get back at it.
Let me drop 2 shout outs real quick to actually Justin and Pinky Promise Life, who said they learned something from these conversations. That's definitely a goal. You know what I'm saying? We want to hear from you. We want to definitely be able to parse through what's happening around us with y'all. But if we just dropping little gems and little parts and components, that's better than you sitting through a news story that don't, catch your attention and you still getting the scoop. That's why we're here. So thank y'all for pointing that out and recognizing that we're trying to just connect dots with each other, not even for people, but with people, whatever that looks like. So shout out to y'all.
Yeah, shout out. But yeah, man, that's that, man. That's the chop up. We back. We was going last week. Now we came back. I feel like it was a good one. But we can't, again, before we close out this episode, definitely shout out to Cal State Fullerton. Like, we are debaters at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like that's, you know what I'm saying, who we are to the core. We are debaters. And that word
just was made, damn it.
You know what I'm saying? It was. You feel me? And what y'all gotta understand is that, again, Toya coaching the team to the Elite Eight, her squad. Again, she is a director of debate at Cal State University Fullerton. Not a coach.
Hey, is Harvard or Georgetown still debating right now?
Dartmouth is still in the tournament, as well as Pittsburgh, as well as Kansas, as well as.
So it's Pitt, Dartmouth, Kansas, and
I don't know. Like, actually, the pairings. I know Pitt won. I know that Dartmouth won. One of the Michigans are still in. Harvard's got knocked out. Northwestern, I think, got knocked out. So, just a lot of
Georgetown not in there, huh? Okay.
Nah, and here's the thing you should know is a lot of these schools I just mentioned are Ivy Leagues or just top 25 institutions, whatever, and we ain't that. You know what I'm saying? We are pretty popping at CSU, but, we not, technically on the same caliber.
Small state school compared
we're having a little Oral Roberts moment, minus, some of the religious baggage. But we're doing our thing, popping out on people and really just kind of taking a lot of people by surprise. And so we got one more opportunity to handle business in a couple of weeks at Cedar, the other championship tournament, and that'll be our last go around.
I was gonna ask y'all when was Cedar gonna be?
In a couple weeks. But I'm gonna just say shout out to Jared. I want to say their name. Shout out to Jared. Shout out to Vontrez. I love both of y'all. I'm proud of both of y'all.
Yeah. Shout out to Jared. Shout out to Vontrez. Y'all did y'all thug thistle. I know y'all gonna come back with a fire lit up under y'all ass and come back with a business next year.
To Shanera and shout out to Anthony too, because they definitely had a lot of.
Shout out to Anthony. Shout out to the Queen on right now. I hope it's fresh, Anthony. I hope you ain't got on no goddamn socks and.
Let my man make it. Right?
And look, Shanera, COVID done kept a nigga away because I know you got your baby girl and everything. COVID done kept a nigga away, but I'm gonna holler at the Queen. You know what I'm saying? Soon enough. But you said what?
I said let's wrap it.
Yeah, we out of here. Hey. Again, man, everybody that was able to join us on the 3 platforms, the Consciously, the Chop Up Show on Facebook and on YouTube, we love the fact that y'all showed up. Please come back next Monday. We got more information for y'all. We breaking it down again for y'all. Y'all can find me, Damo, the Political Plug, at the Political Plug on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I'll be on you. You find me at the Chop Up Show on YouTube, but TikTok. We got Toya G. Go ahead, give them all your shit, Toya. Let me be fair.
Hey, listen, just higher definition LEC. I ain't gonna lie, life is busy right now. It's crazy. We cooking. I'm trying to get these kids to win these debates, so that's where I'm at right now. But y'all know y'all can catch me here on the Chop Up every now and again. I post something at Toya G, so y'all can find me anywhere and stay tapped in. Because when I'm on the move, and I don't want you to miss that. I don't.
Facts. And then y'all know who the fuck Georgia. We ain't even gonna give him the opportunity to say.
At the end of April, though. Yeah, but I was just doing something. Right. Hey, at this point, shout out to McBride sisters. Black Girl Magic, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. They got some nice tasty wine. They got some, you feel me, some other stuff that start with a R, not rose, but stuff too. But I like both of them. I like both of them. That
it was Riesling. Good to look to you.
Acting like it. Yeah, it was nice. You feel me? Shout out to that too. Hey, and too. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm feeling groovy like an Austin Powers movie. Hey, Jeremy, fam, you still up in here, fam? Get your childish ass by my comments, bro. This is grown folks' activities over here, fam. This is for mature audiences only, bro. And if you're not mature, just say that, bro. You feel me? I'm a nigga that's comfortable in my skin, in my sexuality, bro. So if you trying to see my closet, just know I don't give you consent, goddamn. Right. Mind your business, bro, and move around, fam. Go get you go pay some good money for a therapist or a counselor, man. And stop worrying about what I got going on.
Hey, but look, at the same time, like the lame ass niggas that be in our chat, it's engagement. So y'all can, you know what I mean? We'll just leave the lames in the chat to the chat because our chat be lit and they be getting lit.
Shout out to everybody.
Like, we seen y'all. Shout out to y'all for doing your thing. Shout out to all these youngsters that be coming in, pulling up. It don't matter what your age is, where you're from, what you're doing. We appreciate, you know, that y'all vibing with it. We dropping more gems, dropping $1 more in the local high school politics class.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because this makes my day right here.
This right here too.
That's why I said actually Justin been showing love. But shoot, y'all know what it is. We know what it is. It's a love situation. It's a love thing right here in the Chop Up. So since y'all love us, make sure y'all come back next Monday. Y'all know where to find us. We took a little break, a little siesta last week, but we're back at it rolling and headed face first into April. We moving through this week. This year. So keep rocking with us. We're gonna keep breaking things down. It's Consciously. It's the Political Plug. It's your girl Toya G. I don't know what political plug. The Political Plug, Toya G, Consciously, and Damo. Take us out how you brought us in.
Oh, always. Let's get it.
Me, my guys, we really live. Lord, forgive me, pay my tithes. Please don't have me reach inside. And that's in the console. Keep the semi when I ride. Lit off Henny when I drive.